Hi everyone, today we are going to do a Cambridge IELTS 7 test 4. The topic is about effects of the noise, and let's pay attention to the type of questions here. We have got the multiple choice questions. The next one is about the summary, but here if you see we have keyword here, which means NB. We may use in a letter more than once in terms of this summary completion. And then the next one is about also the matching, kind of matching, like matching the names with the sentences. All right, so let's begin with the multiple choice ones. All right, okay. The writer suggests that people may have difficulty sleeping in the mountains. So may have difficulty sleeping in the mountains because, so we have to figure out the reason of this, okay? And suggest, sometimes some people may think suggest means advice, but here it's not advice, but it says. So here the word suggests means says. So the writer says that people may have a difficulty sleeping in the mountains because, all right, just in most cases, some students just make mistakes that they may think the meaning of the suggest means advice, suggestion, but it's not about recommendation. It's talking about the writer believes that, the writer says that, right? Okay. So in general, the plausible to suppose that we should prefer peace and sleeping mountains. You see, and most of us have had the experience of having just sleeping in the mountains of the countryside because it was initially too quiet. An experience that suggests humans are capable of adapting to a wide range of, right? It was initially too quiet an experience, which means in the beginning it was like this conception. However, it's not, and suggests that, which means this is the right answer. Humans are capable of adapting to a wide range of noise levels. So let's figure out if we have such sentence in the multiple choice. All right. Humans do not prefer peace and quiet. Do not prefer, but no. There may be exposed to sharp. Humans prefer to hear certain. They may have adapted to higher noise. You see, if you ever pay attention here, we have the keyword like humans are capable of, may have adapting to wide range of noise levels in the city. That's why this is the answer D, and we gotta write here like 27. Mhm. In noise experiments, Glass and Singer found that noise experiments, right? And you see we have the name here, Noice and Singer. Sorry, Glass and Singer. Exposed people to short bursts, very loud noise, then measured their ability to work out problems, right? And their psychological reactions to the noise. The noise was quite disruptive at first, but after about 4 minutes, the subjects were doing just as well on their tasks as control subjects who weren't exposed to the noise. Okay. The problem solving is much easier under quiet. Is much easier. Do we have such meaning here? Burst will measure the ability to work out problems. So measure ability to work out problems and their psychological reaction to the noise. Next one. So it's not about problem solving is easier or more difficult. It's not talking about it. Psychological arousal prevents the ability to work. Burst of noise do not seriously disrupt problem solving in the long term, and the psychological arousal of the control cell declined quickly. You see, we have psychological arousal also declined quickly to the same level as those. This kind of sentences are called like a trap. Why? So let me show you. We have the word psychological arousal here and declined quickly. We have the exact verb declined quickly. However, in the question it says psychological arousal of control subjects. So it's the control subject's psychological arousal. But here it says psychological arousal also declined to the same level as those of the control subject, which means it's not psychological arousal of control subjects. You see, and in the IELTS, especially whenever we are given somehow a just exact words that may look like the answer, however, they are not the right answer, which means it's a trap for us, right? It's just tricky question. That's why D is not true. And the burst noise do not seriously disrupt, which means the noise do not just interfere or do not bother problem solving in the long term, which means right, the noise was quite disruptive at first, but after about 4 minutes the subject were doing just as well on their tasks as control subjects who were not exposed to the noise, right? Which means they do not disrupt the problem, or just according to this sentence we should think it's B. Okay, and let's write it down 28 here. The researchers discovered that high noise levels are not likely to interfere, which means not likely to interfere, right? High noise levels not likely to interfere, never ever. So it's a negative sentence. So, but there are limits to adaptation and loud noise becomes more troublesome, right? We have a keyword here, loud noise. If person is required to concentrate on more than one task, which means whenever one person just ever focus on a lot of tasks, for example 2 3 4 tasks, so loud noise become problem, loud noise become difficulty for them, right? Which means vice versa, whenever loud noise becomes never becomes troublesome if the person is required to concentrate only one task, right? And that's why whenever we have to translate the sentence like here, like this, we should think like logically, which means loud noise becomes more troublesome if the person is required to concentrate on more than one task, which means loud noise do not become more troublesome if the person is required to concentrate to focus on only one task, not a lot of tasks, right? And here, high noise levels are not likely to interfere successful performance of a single task. You see, whenever they are doing a single tasks, one tasks, it's not likely to interfere. Whenever they do a lot of tasks, they are likely to interfere and becomes more troublesome, can be a synonym to the word likely to interfere. And single tasks, which means uh, on one task, or a lot of tasks could be more than one task, right? And that's why let's write it down here, 29. So the next one. And whenever we are doing such question here, right, we have to be somehow careful because we may use any letter more than once, which means we may put A 2 times or B 2 times or so on or so on. So Glass and Singer showed that situations in which there is intense noise level less effect on performance than circumstance, right? Okay, let's just, there is intense noise have less effect on performance than circumstance in which adjective, right? We need adjective noise occurs, happens. And subject were divided into the groups to perform a task. Some heard loud burst of noise, others soft. For some subjects, those noise was predictable, while others, its occurrence was random. All groups were exposed to some sort of noise. We need kind of adjective here. The predictable noise group, so we need somehow verb or verb expression here, right? The unpredictable noise group on this task. And in the second part of the experiment, the 4 groups were given a proofreading task to complete under conditions of no noise. They were required to check written materials for errors. The group which had been exposed to unpredictable noise, something group which had been exposed to predictable noise, I think we may need somehow verb expression here, right? The group which had been exposed to loud predictable noise performed better than those who had heard soft unpredictable bursts. The results suggest that adjective, right? We need adjectives. Noise produces fatigue, but this manifests itself later. Having analyzed it and just highlighted the keywords here, let's just jump into the text paragraph here in order to figure out the answers, right? We have keyword here, effect on performance than circumstance, right? Which is there is intense noise that have less effect on performance rather than circumstance. And probably the most significant finding from research on noise is that its predictability is more important than how loud it is, right? We are much more able to tune out chronic background noise even if it's quite loud than to work under circumstance. Here, if you pay attention, we have even if it is quite loud, even if it is performed loudly, which means effect on performance than to work under circumstance, and in which noise occurs, which means unexpected, which that you see if you pay attention here we have the word unexpected, which means the right answer to the question 30, and the answer should be unexpected. Do we have such word here? Yeah, we have the word unexpected, and let's write it down, B here. All right. The subjects were divided into groups to perform a task. Some heard loud bursts of noise, others soft. All right. Exposed to bursts of noise as they worked on tasks. Some subjects heard loud bursts, others heard soft. I think we are going in the right direction here. And while for others its occurrence was random and occurred at a random intervals, right? Mm-hmm. All groups were exposed to what kind of noise, right? We need kind of here some sort of all groups were exposed to, and subjects reported finding the predictable unpredictable noise equally annoying. All subjects, right? All subjects could be translated like here all groups. It would be perfect, right? And were exposed to at about the same level during the noise. All right, so let's pay attention. Do we have such same amount, same level, right? We have, so it's given like same amount of something, D1 here. The predictable noise group, the unpredictable noise group in this task, right? So the predictable, unpredictable noise equally annoying. Equally annoying. They are just the same level, right? How some sort of. Do we have such sort of synonym? Intense, performed better, about the same level as. Yeah, performed at about the same level as. Same level. We have such word here. Let's pay attention one more time. All groups were exposed to the same amount of noise. Here, same amount of noise are becoming a somehow a noun combination, like some sort of amount of noise. The predictable noise group performed, right? Performed at about the same level. If you see, predictable noise group predictable noise. Predictable noise can be an adjective, group can be a noun, like somehow a subject, and predictable noise they can be an attribute here, determiner, right? And performed, we have a predict here, which means verb. At about same level as means equally annoying. They are equally annoying at the same level. They are both annoying, right? That's why we have just chosen this one as it has verb. And we have subject here and subject verb. You see? That's why. In the second part of the experiment, the four groups were given a proofreading task to complete under conditions of no noise. No noise. Yeah, we have under conditions of no noise, as shown in table 1, the unpredictable noise. So, which had been exposed to unpredictable noise, the group which had been exposed to predictable noise. So unpredictable noise produced more errors in the later proofreading task than predictable noise. Okay, they produce more errors. Do we have such word? Made more mistakes. Error can be a synonym to the word mistake. Made has this similarity to the words produce, made, right? So let's write it down. I. And The girl which had been exposed to loud, predictable noise performed better than those who had heard soft, unpredictable burst. Burst means noise, right? The results suggest that some sort of burst noise produced fatigue. Do we have such word fatigue? Right, we have fatigue. All right. Unpredictable noise produces more fatigue. Unpredictable. Unpredictable means unexpected. That's true. That's true. And the answer should be B. So, as I just said before, mentioned before here, we may use any letter more than once, and we just use B two times here. Unpredictable, which means unexpected, two times. So let's just figure out the locations. 33 here, 34, 32. Oh, sorry, this is 32. This is 31, so my bad. And unexpected 30. All right, let's just go on to the next type of question. The question 35 to 40, it requires to figure out the names which has been given to us already, and we have somehow figure out what they have done, right? All right, first of all, let's try to just highlight the names. This time I'm going to change the color of the names. Glass and Singer. So do we have Glass and Singer? So right, Finkelman and Glass, Broadbent, Glass and Singer. So I am doing this highlighting in order to just boost my reading and save the time. So Glass and Singer, Cohen and Al, right? Cohen. Okay. Let's just begin with the last one, Cohen, okay? So follow-up study showed that children who were moved to less noisy classrooms still showed greater distractibility 1 year later than students who had always been in quiet schools. Showed greater distractibility. Follow-up study. Do we have such synonyms here? Subject exposed alone find it difficult at first, concentrate, long-term exposure to behavior which can observe in a year later. Yeah. Observe it in a year later, which means 1 year later. And long-term exposure, which means the longer, you see? The longer children had attended the noisy schools, the more distractible they became. So produce changes. Of course, changing because the longer, the more distractible. That's why changing. And this one should be D. Okay. So let's just write down like 36. Okay, 36, we have the proof here. All right. Predictability is not the only variable that produces or eliminates the negative effects of the noise. Another is control. If the individual knows that he or she can control the noise, mhm, this seems to eliminate both its negative effects at the same time its after effects as well, and it's like Glass and Singer's opinions, conceptions, right? So problem associated with exposure to noise do not arise if the subject knows. They can make it stop. They can make it stop. Do not arise. Do not arise, which means do not begin, right? The problem do not start if the people, if subject here, a person. It's not like subject at school, it's person. If a subject knows that they can stop, they can make it stop, and uh, eliminate both its negative effects, which means do not arise, and she can control the noise, which means they can make it stop, they can control, they can stop, they can begin, right? And this is the reason why it's becoming Glass and Singer, right? All right, let's write A here. If you pay attention, I am going to try to read the names only, okay, in order to not distracted here. So, for example, the high noise levels interfered with the performance of subjects who were required to monitor three dials at a time, a task not unlike that of an airplane pilot or an air traffic controller. So it's like by it was said by Broadbent 1957, right? Mm-hmm. Subjects find it difficult to perform three tasks at the same time. Well, three tasks at the same time. Mhm. That's the keyword. And let's pay attention here. Require subjects who require to monitor three dials at a time. Uh-huh. So this is the exact proof for the question 39. And 39 should be B1 because this is because right. All right. So subjects exposed to a noise find it difficult at first to concentrate on problem solving. At first, concentrate on problem solving. We have problem solving here. Exposed people to short bursts of very loud noise, then measured their ability to work out problems and their psychological reaction to the noise. The noise was quite disruptive at first. Mm-hmm. You see, at first we have keyword here, concentrate, problem solving. We have to work out problems, which means work out. Work out, it's not talking about doing exercise. However, it's solving. All right. That's why it should be A. It should be A because Glass and Singer. High exposure to high pitched noise. High pitched noise results in more errors than exposure to a low pitched noise. As long as I remember, we had some sort of here errors. So As shown in table 1, the unpredictable noise produced more errors in the later proofreading task than predictable noise. However, it's talking about predictable, unpredictable, and here it says high-pitched noise, exposure to low-pitched noise. It seems it doesn't somehow match here. Maybe it, as long as it should be matching, so I have to say it's none of this. Somehow it's not given, right? Noise affects a subject's capacity to repeat numbers while carrying out another task. Numbers. Capacity to repeat numbers while carrying out. Carry out means doing, right? Another task. So glassing or roofing, colon glass. Similarity. Noise didn't affect a subject's ability to track a moving line with a steering wheel, but it did interfere with the subject's ability to repeat numbers while tracking. Okie dokie. So let's try to match synonyms here. To repeat numbers, carry out, which means tracking, while tracking could be a carrying out another task, right? Noise affects, interfere could be a synonym to the word affect. It bother, right? And noise is it. The pronoun it can be a synonym to the word noise because just before this part of the sentence it says noise didn't affect, however it did affect, right? And that's why it should be Finkelman and Glass. Finkelman and Glass is C. All right, we have 40 here. So do we have which one? It should be 37. So this one is 35, 39, 40, 36, and after effects, negative effects. Which one negative effect make? Okay. Change 36, 36. So eliminate negative effect 37, right? This one 37. 38, which one? Yeah, 38 is no because it's like not given.